Hey Eagle fans, it's EaglefanKarl. This is going to be my Week 3 prediction video for the game between the Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow afternoon. And let's start off with the one fact that sort of was jarring to me when I read it this week. As bad as the Bengals have been, the last time the Eagles beat the Bengals was Christmas Eve of 2000 back at Veterans Stadium. That's how long ago it's been since the Eagles beat the Bengals. We were still playing at the Vet. I was at that game, actually, and it's hard for me to believe that, yes, the Eagles have not beaten the Bengals since then, since that moment. Now, of course, we only play them every 4 years, but since then, we are 0-3-1 against them. That's right, we also had that infamous tie where Donovan McNabb didn't realize the game could end that way, which is a game that I was also at. So, yes, we are looking at a situation where we've got a losing streak that goes 20 years against a team that has not been that great over that period of time. And of course the Eagles have a losing streak against the Bengals, but they also have a losing streak coming into this game now that they're 0-2 to start the season. And I know what the definition of insanity is, but with all that considered, I still think the Eagles are going to win this game, so let's look at the reasons why I think that. And one of the main reasons I think that is because historically, Jim Schwartz against rookie quarterbacks has been a bad matchup for the rookie quarterbacks. Jim Schwartz usually does fairly well, confusing them, throwing different schemes at them so they really don't know exactly what they're looking at, and taking advantage just of the fact that they just do not have the experience in the NFL yet. And especially since Burrow is only going to be in his third game, I especially think that that's going to be true in this case. So I really like the idea of Jim Schwartz going up against a rookie quarterback and taking advantage of that mismatch. And that is also goes hand in hand with my second reason why I like the Eagles in this game. And that's because their offensive line is not very good. Both the Eagles and Bengals actually rank towards the bottom of the league when it comes to sacks surrendered this year. And of course, all of our sacks came in week 1 when we were playing with a decimated offensive line up against one of the best defensive lines in football. So I think you have to take that into account, but ultimately their offensive line is not very good. And I think we can take advantage of that and hopefully get some pressure on Burrow. Our defensive line is paid as one of the best defensive lines in football. They need to play like it. And that goes to my third point, which is this team tends to, under Doug Peterson, has tended to respond well after bad losses. And that's certainly what last week was. It was a bad loss. And I think that generally the Eagles have responded well when that has happened. Of course, that's notwithstanding last week, which was also coming off sort of a bad loss. But if you look back historically, I think of the Super Bowl year in 2017, we had a bad loss late in the season against Seattle. Came back the following week and played really well against the Rams. Also, you look at even though it was sort of a meaningless game at the end of that season, to finish the game against the Cowboys when we were resting a lot of starters, but still did not look good on offense even when our starters were in there. Came back and, of course, won the divisional playoff in the next game after that. You fast forward to 2018, and, of course, we had that horrible blowout loss down in New Orleans against the Saints, and the next week we bounced back against the Giants. And then, of course, last year was the terrible loss against Miami, which next week we come back and we play the Giants and we bounce back. Now, you might say, well, that's 2 games against the Giants, who aren't a very good football team. Well, guess what? The Cincinnati Bengals are not a very good football team. So maybe that's just what the doctor ordered for us. Coming off a bad loss, we'll be playing a bad team at home. I like our chances in that setup. So what's the one wild card in this? What could actually flip the script on us again? I think it comes down to the one thing that's lost us the first 2 games that I probably haven't talked about as much as I should have, and that is turnovers. I know I've talked specifically about Carson Wentz and turnovers, but the team as a whole in turnovers is a problem. And specifically, the fact that we're not getting them either. We're not getting turnovers from the other team and we're committing them ourselves. In fact, the Eagles are dead last in turnover differential going into this week, this season. And that's something that's got to change because historically in the NFL, it's tough to overcome losing the turnover battle. In fact, the one turnover that we do have was on special teams, so technically our defense has not gotten a turnover yet this year. And of course that flips everything back to my first point on this, and that is if Schwartz can confuse Burrow. Hopefully we can force him into mistakes and we can get some of those turnovers finally to go our way, and the defense can create those turnovers and we'll be the recipients of them rather than the ones that are giving them up. So bottom line is I like our chances for that to happen. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. My prediction for a score is going to be Eagles 24, Bengals 13. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Am I going ahead and participating in the delusion of insanity? Or do you agree with me? Do you think we're going to win this game against a bad team, against a rookie quarterback? Whether or not that saves our season is a question for another day. Right now, do you think we've got what it takes to beat a bad team in the Bengals and start to possibly salvage our season? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Obviously, I'll check in after the game. Until then, fly Eagles fly.